Proudly broadcasting from the Richard Philip Cavallaro Studio.
WRHU.
Hempstead.
You've discovered
A cornerstone of the Lawrence Herbert School of Communication.
WRHU.
Hello, screeners. We're back again.
You're listening to The Screening Room on 88.7 FM Radio Hofstra University.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Join us as we talk about all things pop culture,
Hollywood news,
And entertainment.
Well, I'm feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
screeners buckle up.
and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Screening Room here on WRHU Radio Hofstra University. I am your host, Michael Albrecht, joined by my co-host, Eyal Sir. Also in the studio is Abby Gibson, Michael Ventries, Donovan Ellis, and Tommy Saxa.
On today's show, we're discussing Christmas movies, the most anticipated releases of 2025, and all the latest entertainment news.
For more on our show, follow us on Instagram at Screening Room WRHU.
So welcome to the show, everybody. I hope we're all doing well.
Hi.
It's winter, it's finals. I know we're a little stressed, so I'm glad y'all can make it out here. So how about we start with this? What have we been watching? Anything new? Anything old? What we got today?
I finally got started on The Penguin.
Ooh.
How are you liking it?
I actually really like it. I knew that it was where like the plot was heading just because of the way the first Batman movie ended, but I've really engaged in the drama of it all, and I also just really love Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell is an
No, that's
amazing
that's
actor.
a fair reason to like The Penguin. Yeah. What you got, Tommy?
You guys seen Moana 2?
Not yet. No.
We talked about it a little bit last week, but I'm very curious for your opinion because everybody seems to have a different opinion on this film.
All right. So, I'm an opinionated person, of course, and I've never seen the first one up to that point. So I was taken by a bunch of
Connor
friends.
was telling me about this.
Legitimately one of the worst Disney films I've ever seen.
What was wrong with it?
We are so back to that era of direct-to-DVD sequels, but in theaters.
Oh, no.
no.
I think it was written by AI. It feels so
No,
shallow.
No, it was originally written for a TV series on Disney Plus, but then they
that makes
reformatted
sense.
it to a
Yeah.
movie.
No, you can
That's
tell,
crazy.
too.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
No, seriously, and it doesn't feel like it's building to something. It just feels like it's just plot. It's so boring. But then I watched the first one the same day, like when I got back.
Did you watch it before or after?
After.
Oh,
That's why I watched them
That's
reverse
such an
order.
interesting way to get introduced to Moana.
that is interesting.
I mean, like, what is the plot, though?
Of the first one or the second one?
Second one.
Yeah, what is the plot?
Well, it's funny because so it shows her getting back from for her adventure with Maui.
Yeah.
And then a spirit calls to her like, "All right, you're not done." Literally, that's the line. And then she has to go back and it's like this demon called Nalo. But then I watched the first one, and it was a masterpiece.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
such a good movie.
It's
the
so
first one.
good.
It's
Good.
so good.
There's an actual plot.
I
in
would say
the-
the best Disney soundtrack maybe of the
First one.
century.
It was written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, so
The first one.
obviously.
that too.
No,
Yeah.
and the
The
second
first
one
one,
is
yeah.
sorely missing
The
him.
second one is written by, I believe their names are Barlow and Bear.
They did the Bridgerton musical.
I was gonna say
Oh
that.
my God.
And so look,
Yeah.
and I was talking to my dad about this, and my girlfriend is the reason I know who Barlow and Bear are because she introduced me to the Bridgerton musical.
Yeah.
It's one of our shows. And look, it's fine. It's not a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's fine. But come on, you're going from a kind of like a not even off Broadway, just a concept soundtrack to hey, we're doing a Disney movie. That's a little bit of a reach.
It's a bit of a jump,
Lin-Manuel Miranda had to do 5 musicals.
Well, I think
Before he got
Lin-Manuel
to-
said he wasn't gonna do it, and they panicked, and this was who they got.
I would have been really interested to see the Lopez's do it, who did Frozen.
Oh.
Yeah.
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 Well, they
Or-
try to replicate Lin-Manuel's songwriting in Moana 2. They like the fast rap, but it comes off as so try hard.
Really?
It has no identity of its own.
That sucks.
Genuinely, yeah.
So would you say Moana 2 is worth the watch or no?
Please don't give it money.
So
It's already made $1 billion,
Damn,
so I'm doing nothing but please don't give it money.
So, Tommy, I guess what you're trying to say is you're welcome for telling us not to watch Moana 2.
All right, get out. That was a bad pun.
Please get out of
It
the
was
studio
bad.
right
It was
now.
bad.
I'm
I
the
feel
host
like
now.
I feel like my mom or dad was laughing listening to that about my horrible pun, and then my sister is just shaking her head.
No
It
one
is
knows how
10
far you go
a.m.,
for that
Mike.
one.
No puns.
No puns.
So if it's your whole family and entire screening room crew against you with your puns, I think that's a sign.
Yeah.
Anyone else? What have you been watching?
That's a good question.
Well,
Oh, Abby, you got something?
I didn't watch anything per se, but I tried to go to SNL and then.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah,
you mentioned this, yeah.
I failed by
What?
like
Why?
6 people.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Because they do it by like,
yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, Abby. They sell tickets, but then it's like, hey, we only let a certain amount of people in, so it's kind of like if you're online first, you get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like on Thursday, 10 a.m., they have like standby tickets available,
Yeah.
and I think they only have like 200 or 300, and so
100.
Oh.
Jesus.
yeah, and you can do either dress rehearsal or live show, and my friend Angelica got the ones for live show,
Dang.
and we
okay.
were
Yeah.
originally 204 and 205.
Yeah.
And then we went Friday night. You had to check in, I want to say probably like in between 6 and 7,
Yeah.
and then you have to wait 5 hours.
In the
s-
cold.
Well, yes,
Ooh.
outside, on the streets. And so we were out there waiting just until midnight. They hand out the tickets, and that was just an adventure in of itself.
No, it definitely sounds like it. Yeah.
And so 12 o'clock hits. We got, okay, guys, actually, fun fact, SNL has like the best hot chocolate. I loved it. so much.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome. I feel like New York City hot chocolate, especially this time of year, hits different.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think it's a seasonal thing for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like Dunkin' Donuts, and then New York City. I went to a Christmas thing last was it December or January? I can't even remember at this point.
It's winter.
I think it was
say-
January. I think it was a Christmas gift for my girlfriend.
In January?
Yeah.
Right.
Because you get whatever. I had hot chocolate there. It was so good. So it makes sense, and they have that NBC money.
Exactly.
Very true, very true.
They also gave us some soup. The soup was kind of
Soup?
good.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like mushrooms though. They had mushrooms in that thing.
Oh.
But we had jumped from 204 and 5 to number 85 and 86, so we thought it was gonna be worth it to go back
Yeah.
Saturday and try to get in. And so we got there at 9:45, and then they didn't even start filing people into the studio until like 11, probably even after that,
Oh,
because
no.
they were still filing people in by like 11:20.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, we were like, how are you doing it this close until the show? We were like, Tia and I would have had this thing done. Peace and
well,
love.
best
Better sketch show.
best teacher.
Our college sketch show is like better than yours.
It is.
Like just
It is.
now.
As both a writer and I'm gonna call myself the sound designer for that show. It is so it's so good. We were actually during the writer's strike like probably the best and most viewed sketch comedy show
Wow.
in at least Long
Really?
Island. Yeah.
That's
I'm gonna
crazy.
claim that. I don't know if that's true.
This is before
I'm
I
gonna
got it.
claim that because SNL wasn't going on, and
That's
all the
true.
other we're the best sketch comedy show from a college.
Oh, the only sketch comedy show.
That's not true.
no.
Other colleges have them.
I'm,
Well,
We're
like-
just better.
never mind.
I'm not getting paid to say that, even though I do write for them. Does anybody have anything else to say? What they've been watching, really quickly?
I'll be quick. Yeah, I started watching the Good Omens actually.
Oh, I've been wanting to watch that.
Yeah, I'm only on episode 2, but I'm really enjoying it. Just David Tennant, like any show David Tennant is in, I'm gonna enjoy.
Me
like,
too.
Yeah,
I love that man so much.
he's so good.
He's so good. All right, well, I'm really glad to hear that we've all been watching some really great stuff. And you know what? I'm gonna have to watch some of the stuff you guys said because I'm really interested in Good Omens and Moana 2, and I just love SNL. So.
Wait.
Well, now it is time to play a game.
Oh goodness.
A game of Guess That Christmas Movie. Cue the music. One of my favorites. All right, so how the game is going to work is I'm going to describe a Christmas movie very, very, very poorly. And you have to guess what movie it is. Are we
Okay.
ready?
Sure.
All right,
That's all I'll ever be.
let me just pull it up. Somebody can talk while I'm pulling up the game because I forgot to do that.
Yes, I really like Christmas.
I am
excited.
Jewish, so like Christmas is okay for me.
Yeah.
But it's pretty soon. Christmas is like
Actually,
rapidly
Christmas
approaching.
falls on Hanukkah and Christmas actually fall on the same day this year.
I heard that, and I think that's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
possible.
I think
thought
that's so cool.
Is
No.
Hanukkah not like a set date?
No,
No.
it's
It moves.
based on like the Hebrew calendar, which
Yeah.
I'm not like fully up to date on that thing.
No, it's alright.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not even up to date on the liturgical calendar of
Well,
my
happy
own
Hanukkah,
religion.
and I'm
so
sorry.
The who?
Your only movie is 8 Crazy Nights.
liturgical?
Which one is that?
It's the Catholic calendar.
Ah.
Anyway,
I
All right, are we ready for the game?
Sure.
I think
All
we
right.
should be. Yeah. Let's go.
First one. A group of kids hops aboard a sketchy train that only comes
Oh, what's
out...
it called?
Let me finish.
Let him finish.
A group of kids hops aboard a sketchy train
The
that
Polar
only comes
Express.
out at night, driven by a man who might be making up his job as he goes. They all agree that hot chocolate solves every problem.
The Polar Express.
It is the Polar
Yeah.
Express.
You lost it at train.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, yo.
You were chomping at the bit to say it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
all right. A guy who has the worst Christmas ever accidentally signs up
Alone.
for a very specific body transformation program and gets a free house up north.
The Santa Claus, Tim
yes,
Allen.
Tommy, it is the Santa Claus.
Oh.
I'm a Tim Allen expert.
I'm going to tell you, I think this next one's a little hard because it's actually the next two are hard because of just all of us being young, and the last one I have 10 here is I think is very hard for everybody who is not me.
What?
Next one. Two guys try to save a struggling inn by singing so much that everybody forgets about the snow shortage.
What?
Wait, what?
It's a
By
snow
doing
shortage?
what?
I'll read it again. Two guys try to save a struggling inn by singing so much that everyone forgets about the snow shortage.
Fred Claus?
No. I love this movie. This
Daddy's
is one of my,
Home too?
No, this is one of my favorite movies. I can give you a hint if you'd like.
Sure, yeah.
I would like that.
It is an older movie.
Home Alone.
That helps so much. thank you.
Older.
It is. I mean, the year it came out. I think it's like the 50s or the 60s.
Oh, then I definitely don't know this.
Wait.
Maybe the
no
40s. I can give you another hint, but I think it's gonna give it away.
All right. Blues Brothers.
What?
No.
What?
Wait,
That's not a Christmas movie.
All right.
That's the.
I'll give
80s too.
you another hint, and then I'm gonna wait a couple seconds and then tell you the answer. It stars Bing Crosby.
Who?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you lost me.
No?
I-
Okay. You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
The movie is White Christmas.
Oh.
Everybody watch that movie. Next one, and I think Tommy's gonna get this one. A man gets a crash course on his own irrelevance from someone with questionable angel credentials.
It's Wonderful
Oh.
Life.
Christmas Girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
That's
It's
a
It's a
family
Wonderful Life.
classic.
Ah,
I
yeah.
also love that movie.
I
It's
was
one of
just
my
gonna
favorite
say
movies
that,
of all
man.
time.
It's a masterpiece.
It is a
Yeah.
masterpiece. And that's really early too.
Stole my idea.
A man single-handedly tries to sabotage his own holiday by turning his house into a fire hazard, inviting chaos-loving relatives, and trusting a cat.
What?
I was gonna say Home Alone, but then you got me with the cat.
Like trusting a cat.
This is from the 80s.
It's from the 80s.
Meet
80s
the
Christmas
Franks?
movie.
No.
Damn.
This is a movie that I think is a classic, and I reference all the time with my girlfriend. But
Michael, I don't know.
it has like no plot.
I don't know if you noticed this, but you're not your girlfriend, so we don't know what you're referencing.
The cat part throws me
I
off
can
now.
quote the movie if you want.
All right, yeah, fair. Do that.
Why is the carpet wet, Todd? I don't know, Margot.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yes, it is.
Oh
There it
my!
is.
Did that give it away?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Classic.
All right. An already overworked man has to fight off a power-hungry ice enthusiast while hosting a family reunion.
Ice enthusiast.
Groundhog Day? No.
Not a Christmas
That's not
movie.
a Christmas movie.
I don't know, man.
I think that's what. I hate this movie. That's
wait.
the hit. Is I hate
Daddy's
this movie.
Home too.
Elf?
Is it that weird?
It's not Elf.
Is
Actually, Elf isn't on this list.
Really?
okay.
Which I just realized, and I think that's a mistake.
Is it that weird animated Rudolph movie?
No.
Ah.
What's the description
I
again?
can give you a hint, but I think it's gonna give it away.
What's the description again?
Ooh, that
It has
was
been
good.
a while since I've heard that name.
What?
What's the
I'll read it. Yeah, I'll read it one more
again?
time. An already overworked man has to fight off a power-hungry ice enthusiast while hosting a family reunion.
Ice enthusiast.
No idea.
I think Donovan has it.
Jingle All the Way?
No.
Oh.
I can give you a hint, but I really do feel like it's gonna give it away. Do you want me to
Yeah,
give you the hint?
shoot.
Martin Short.
Never heard
Santa
of it.
Claus 3?
Yes. Can you name the entire thing?
Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah.
my
The Santa
God.
Claus 3, Escape from the Santa Claus.
No, it's the escape clause.
The
but good
Escape
enough.
Clause.
Escape Clause.
Sorry. Less catchy.
All right. You have 4 more. A kid with poor gift-giving skills decides that loud noises are the best way to celebrate a baby's nap time.
What?
I think this one's really hard.
Wait, say that one more time. Sorry.
A kid with poor gift-giving skills decides that loud noises are the best way to celebrate a baby's nap time. I am going to give you a hint right off the bat because I do think this one's hard. It is a Rankin Bass film, so it's a claymation film from like the 50s. It's very unknown and it's like 30 minutes long.
The Earth Had a Santa Claus.
No, I think it's one of the more unknown ones. It's actually a all right movie.
Is it?
It has to do with instruments.
Instruments.
Really?
Yes.
Is it one of like the wait? But it's the Christmas ones, right?
It's a Christmas movie.
All right.
It has to do with the birth of Jesus Christ and an instrument.
I'm definitely not
I think
Little
that's-
Drummer Boy.
Yes, I was gonna say
Okay.
if you
How do
can't
you
get it
know
off of
this?
that,
I
that's a
didn't know
big.
that was a claymation thing.
All right. A bullied deer proves that being
Rudolph the
useful.
Red-Nosed
Let me
Reindeer.
finish. Oh my god.
Are there any reindeer games in this?
There might be reindeer games. A bullied deer proves that being useful is the only way to gain respect in a capitalist winter society.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Hey, I said first.
But I let him
I
finish.
love that.
The social hierarchy of the reindeer.
Wait, did you write that?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I was gonna say, that's
I'm
like-
gonna be honest. I picked the movies.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, ChatGPT, give me like really bad descriptions of these movies because I thought it'd be funnier that way. And God, was I right. All right, yeah, that is
Thanks,
Rudolph,
AI.
the Red-Nosed Reindeer, another Rankin Bass classic.
That's good use of AI. I respect it.
Yeah, you know. This next one, another classic. A kid spends the holiday begging for a dangerous toy while his dad
Oh,
fights
this
with
thing.
furniture and his mom runs interference.
That's gonna be a Christmas story.
That is a Christmas
Yes.
story.
Yes.
Oh, man.
All right.
Shoot your eye out.
And you
kid.
have one more.
One more.
I think this one's hard. Two strangers agree to make every major holiday as awkward as possible by pretending to like each other in front of their families.
Is it Holiday?
That is Holiday. Tommy,
You've seen Holiday?
My
have seen
man.
Holiday.
My man.
Why?
because like 3 Christmases ago, my girlfriend showed it to me. It's actually a good movie.
It's not terrible.
I like the movie.
Yeah. No, it's kinda
I knew almost none of these.
Oh my
I-
God.
Being the
What are you
resident
doing?
Superman.
I can't believe you got that. I thought that was gonna be
That's
the
the most
hardest
immediate
movie.
one too.
That's
Synapse fired. I
that's
didn't realize.
actually
How do
crazy.
you have time to watch all these, man?
I like movies. I
He's
don't know,
a
man.
film major.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, that was a fun game. Thank you all so much for playing. So now we're going to hand it over to our very own Abby Gibson to catch us up on some of the latest stories with our first news break.
Welcome to Entertainment News Break. I'm Abby Gibson, and here are this week's top stories. The Mandalorian and Grogu movie has officially casted Jeremy Allen White to play Rhoda the Hutt. The character made its first debut in the 2008 animated film Star Wars: The Clone Wars. The new film is expected to release on May 22nd, 2026, and be directed by Jon Favreau. A new video game inspired by the TV show Game of Thrones is set to release in 2025. The title, Game of Thrones King's Road, is a story-driven action-adventure RPG that is a mobile app made by Netmarble. A trailer for the game played at the Game Awards on Thursday, showing well-known characters from the series. While the game's exact release date hasn't been announced, opinions seem to say that it should have been released back when there was more hype surrounding the show. The long-awaited Tangled live-action movie is officially in development, with The Greatest Showman director Michael Gracie set to direct. The script is being written by Jennifer Caton Robinson, who also did Netflix's Do Revenge and Thor: Love and Thunder. Casting has not been announced, but social media has taken off with their picks. And that's all for this news break. Stay tuned for more entertainment news later in the show.
Thank you so much, Abby. Now, let's move on to our main discussion for today. Unfortunately, it's not Christmas themed, but it is kind of New Year's themed. With 2024 coming to a close, we thought it would be a great idea to discuss our most anticipated films of 2025. Many have cited Wicked Part 2, Captain America Brave New World, and Superman as some films that they are excited for. But what films are we here at the Screening Room anticipating most in 2025?
So, right off the bat, in January, we have 2 major, and this is very specific, but we got 2 major monkey film releases.
Who? What is monkey film?
Yeah.
Better, literally, like starring like A Better Man, which is about a rock star who's literally like a gorilla.
Oh,
Okay.
And then The Monkey by Osgood Perkins, who also did Long Legs, about the like wind-up monkey toy. And for some reason, those are my 2 most anticipated movies of 2025 so far.
Interesting.
I guess for me, the Minecraft movie coming out. Not
Forgot
because
about that.
Not because I'm excited about it. No. Because I am going to the theater and I'm going to hate watch it. Unless it maybe it'll genuinely surprise me. Maybe it's actually good. But from what I've seen from it, I know it's gonna look so corny and so bad.
That's what makes it good, though.
What?
Let me just say the first trailer that released obviously was terrible. They kind of made it look good so far.
Really? From the other clips you've seen?
Yeah, like the animation kind of improved.
Oh.
Like the characters seem like it seems like
I think it's going to be a
better.
cult classic.
Yeah, no, totally.
I think I'm going to hate it, but I think there's
Minecraft
going to
the
be a
movie.
very specific niche of people
No, it's
who
called.
loves the
No,
movie.
it's specific,
yeah,
it's
obviously.
specifically called a Minecraft.
I think it's
movie.
gonna become like the Madam Web of like next year. Like people are gonna go see it ironically.
I avoided Madam Web.
Or like
with the
Morbius.
plague.
yeah, basically.
Oh my god.
I watched that on a plane once. It was alright. Morbius.
It was alright.
Just all the jokes about it afterwards were
Yeah.
great until they ruined it.
Yeah, he was like an anti-hero. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is another
alright.
movie coming out in January, on January 17th.
That is 3 days after my birthday.
Hey, happy
Nice.
birthday. Al.
Yeah.
You're turning 20.
21, yeah.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Big birthday. I think it's this upcoming week, actually. I don't think we're talking about it today in Tune in this week, but they're coming out with a Nosferatu remake, which I'm honestly kind of excited for. And I'm not a big fan of remakes at all, but the film's pretty much 100 years old.
And
and it
they
was a
got
silent
the
film.
I would say greatest gothic horror director
Yes.
maybe of all time on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lighthouse, The Witch. So it's obviously like people are already saying masterpiece. Like we've seen it already.
I'm very excited, but they're doing another classic monster film reboot in January.
Really?
Wolfman?
Wolfman.
Yeah, no,
They're
I saw
doing
that.
Wolfman.
It looks scary.
Yeah, it does, and I'm excited for that, honestly. We also have Captain America: Brave New World coming in February. I'm excited. It actually comes out on Valentine's Day, February 14th.
Nice.
Whoever they got for the trailer on that, by the way, is doing amazingly.
I would agree with that.
I'm actually excited to see The Electric States, the one that's directed by the Russo brothers.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Russo brothers. I think that's actually going to be really good.
Yeah, and I forget who like stars in it again. Is it Chris Pratt? I forget. But like
That sounds right.
Yeah, I saw the trailer like a while ago and I thought it looked really good. And I actually got really excited for it because I thought it looked again really good. And the Russo brothers themselves, I love their films. And like I think Endgame, well, I say Endgame should have been the end of the MCU. I still
I
think
agree.
it's such
Really?
a fantastic,
Nah,
really.
man.
It's a great
It's a
ending.
great
Come
stuff.
on,
It's a
I
great-
love that. It's one of my
called-
favorite movies.
It's called Endgame for a reason.
But they
'Cause
want
it ends.
money, so it's
money, but
Also,
money.
like no offense, but with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever and like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, like you, even if it's the end of the MCU, I feel like you could have like some other stories need like a little bit of
I agree.
closure.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree.
Some needed a little more.
Which is, and I've been not vocal. I don't like certain Star Wars projects that have been happened since
that's all right.
Disney acquired it. And look, I like Episode 7 and Episode 8,
Really?
and I'm gonna leave it there.
Okay.
I don't like Episode 9. I think there's a lot of great stuff in Episode 9.
watched 9.
I don't like the plot and what they did.
We're gonna have
However,
a serious conversation of you defending The Last Jedi later, by the way.
oh, absolutely. I don't think it's a masterpiece, but I think Episode 6 is such a great ending to the story, where I'm like I like the new Star Wars and I like continuing the story, but Episode 6 is such a beautiful ending.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's the same with the MCU. Like Endgame is such a great ending and it's such
Yeah.
a strong movie, but at the same time, it's like I love Loki. You
Oh,
know,
Loki's
and
great,
like
yeah.
I love Guardians 3 and like, you know, there's a lot of bad movies, but there's a lot of great movies and TV shows that came after Endgame. Like, you know, the Agatha and Scarlet Witch stuff and it's
Well,
so
yeah.
good.
Before you make a prequel, I think you should ask like, is there more to tell with this story?
That's true.
Absolutely.
That's a sequel, but like that's why they made the Clone Wars before they bought Disney, because like they said,
Yeah.
okay, there's more to tell with here, but then
And the Clone Wars is great.
the Clone Wars is
Yeah.
incredible.
It's incredible.
And then also, with Episode 6, like I don't think they wanted to like make any to make any sequels. So
No, they weren't really
Yeah.
planning on it. They wanted to make the prequels, and George Lucas planned on making 7, 8, and 9,
yeah,
but they were going to be different.
yeah.
Anyway, Paddington 2.
Thanks.
Paddington
Paddington 3. Paddington 3.
Oh,
Paddington
3.
Peru.
Maybe 4. I don't know.
Well, okay, there was already like an official Paddington 3, right?
Paddington in Peru.
Is that Paddington 3 or is that Paddington?
I don't know. February 14th,
I've
2025.
lost track of the Paddington films.
That's a fun movie. Yeah. I'm kind of just scrolling to see. No. Oh, this trailer just came out, and I actually think it looks really good. It's a movie called Novocaine.
Oh.
Yeah. Donovan, you want to talk about Novocaine just a little bit?
Yeah. While I was doing my finals, I actually did look at the trailer because I was very Jack Quaid. I've been really enjoying a lot.
Love Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid's great.
From like awesome. Both The Boys and also My Adventures with Superman.
Yeah.
Okay.
But essentially, Novocaine is about Jack Quaid's character being a regular account worker, but apparently who has a girlfriend who gets stole, and then a bank robbery happens and his girlfriend gets stolen. But here's the thing, he can't feel pain.
Oh.
Yeah, he has a medical condition. He can't feel pain.
Oh, this movie.
Kind of like Aaron Taylor Johnson in Kick-Ass.
Yes. So the entire movie is him essentially trying his best to like, track down the people and like save his girl. Yeah. But like, again, he goes through so many painful scenarios. Yeah. Like a gun gets put into like a fryer, so he has to put his hand into it and then just this
I think people are gonna cringe during that movie, but I think it looks really good, honestly.
It's honestly a really cool premise for me. Because, in my opinion, there is literally nothing more dangerous than someone who has nothing to lose.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I actually want to bring this up. Lilo and Stitch, the new live action is actually coming out next year. And, we obviously have our reservations about the new live action Disney films, but how do you feel about Lilo and Stitch? I love the original animated one.
I love the live action. No, I don't. I haven't seen it. It's not out yet.
You can't love.
I love the animated film too.
Right.
I think it's a great movie. It was made in a time where Disney movies weren't great in the early 2000s. Was that 2000 or 1999? I can't remember.
It's
2000.
Early 2000, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. I think it's a great film. I think it's a classic. I think Stitch, they've capitalized on Stitch as a character for the last 20 something years, and he's awesome. But I don't love the live action Disney movies other than like Beauty and the Beast and Lion King and Aladdin, like the movies that I like.
You liked Aladdin and the Lion King?
I didn't hate them. I do you know what? And I've said this before. I really like that. What my favorite thing about the Aladdin remake or live action is that they gave Jasmine something to do. I think she is an awesome character in the live action movie. She does nothing in the animated movie, and she's like a girl boss, and she's awesome in the live action movie.
Yeah.
And like they gave her a song. I don't know. I love that song, and I think they did a great job. And Will Smith is awesome in that film. Segueing, Snow White.
Oh
yes, I'm so excited about it.
I'm not excited for it.
I just really like Rachel Zegler.
I think she's fine. I honestly, I'm just interested in the new song that they wrote for her.
Listen While You Work?
Yeah.
No, that song's been around since like 1939.
I didn't know, man.
29. No, they wrote a new song, and I'm excited for that because if you ever seen the original Snow White from the 30s or 20s, Snow White cannot sing in that original movie.
Oh.
She has like one song at a fountain. It is awful. It is an awful, awful, awful song. There's like 3 good songs. There's like 2 good songs in that movie, and she doesn't sing them. Yeah. So I'm just excited that they gave Snow White a potentially good song. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, that sounds great. Well, I for one am actually really excited for what I mentioned. Lilo and Stitch. I think it actually looks really nice. I think Stitch looks adorable. But now we're gonna hand it back over to our lovely Abby Gibson for another news break.
The Amazon and Games Workshop TV series titled Warhammer 40,000 cast Henry Cavill, who is also an executive producer for the project. There is no release date as of now, as they are still in the process of writing the script. The remake of American Psycho has chosen Austin Butler as the top pick for the role of Patrick Bateman, with an official offer rumored to be imminent. This would only add on to the high-profile roles Butler has taken in his career. The remake is being directed by Luca Guadagnino, who also directed Challengers and Call Me By Your Name. Musical artist Halsey is in the process of writing a developing dark comedy series for Amazon titled Bloodlust. She is said to be the creator, writer, and executive producer of the project, with Ty West directing and executive producing. She will not star in the show, but there's not much other information being released at this time. And that's all for this entertainment news break. Now let's get back to the movies.
Alrighty.
Thank you again, Abby. Everybody just give it up for Abby. Great last news break of the semester.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, we're now going to kick off our Hollywood news discussion by talking about a new biopic. We have a new biopic coming out. I wrote series. I don't know if it actually is a series or a movie, but I wrote series, so we're going to go with series. It's going to be about the Beatles. It is currently in development. It's going to be directed by Sam Mendes. Paul Mescal, known for his roles in Normal People and Gladiator 2, is rumored to portray Paul McCartney. The series will explore the rise and influence of the iconic band, with other rumored cast members including Joseph Quinn as George Harrison, Harris Dickinson as John Lennon, and Barry Keoghan as Ringo Starr. So, first question, are we excited about the new Beatles biopic?
Who are the Beatles?
Are you serious?
No.
Relax, I'm joking.
You can't make that joke here.
No.
Yeah. I think if they do it right and make it accurately,
Yeah.
then it can be good.
I agree. I think, do you know what's interesting? I was just talking to one of my friends about this the other night, and she's a big Beatles fan.
Who?
You don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's my friend Jolie.
Oh, okay.
And she's not looking forward to it, even though she's a big Beatles fan, because Yoko Ono is still alive.
Oh.
And she hates Yoko Ono.
Oh, no.
That's
so
funny.
Because, Paul McCartney has been like, if Yoko Ono gets her hands on it, I don't want to be involved.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because they all because he doesn't, Yoko Ono might twist the truth or something, and Paul wants it to be more genuine and he wants more input, but if Yoko had, it's just a whole mess and drama.
Yeah, well, the thing with the Beatles is, we don't know the true story at all of,
No.
how they broke up or what happened. Because, all we have is, recordings of them fighting, which are very entertaining, by the way. But what I heard from, this biopic is, there's going to be 4, and each one is going to be about, focusing on a different member, which
that's so interesting.
I know, it's, we've never done something like this before.
No,
that is
we mentioned this, a while ago, and, I think they were, playing with the idea of using AI in the films.
No.
I'm not sure.
I don't
They
know about
used
that.
so in the most recent Beatles song, which came out actually
Now and
a
then.
couple months ago, Now and Then.
Yeah.
They did use a little bit of AI just to help finish John Lennon's vocals, because he did have tracks, but they weren't complete, and they used AI to help clean up, because they were old recordings, going from tape to digital. Big difference. But no, I do think it's going to be really interesting.
I'll be honest, I'm a little excited because I want to know a little more about the Beatles. I love listening to their songs. My dad, whenever he has a chance to play them on the radio, he will.
Yeah.
You gotta wonder which era they're gonna focus on too.
Yeah.
Beginnings or breakup period.
I think it'd be really
I would
interesting.
think it's all of them.
Maybe. Do you know what would be interesting? Because you said they're doing all four episodes, each Beatle. I think it'd be interesting if they did do it from each Beatles point of view, and they just did it this is the entire 1 hour episode for each Beatle, and it's gonna be the entire Beatles lifetime in one episode for John Lennon, and then we go to Harrison in the next episode, and then we go to McCartney, and it's just different point of views, and it tells a story differently.
I could also
what's that
see
called?
potential of just having it be the different each for, you basically get to see each era of the Beatles through representing one of the members. I will say though, this seems to be a very interesting addition to the music cinematic universe that has started since Bohemian Rhapsody.
Do you know what?
I guess.
I am so glad you brought that up, because that is an incredible segue, Donovan, into my next question. It's you read my mind, man. So with the Beatles film, and you mentioned Bohemian Rhapsody a couple of years ago, amazing movie.
It is.
And we have an upcoming Bob Dylan biopic, starring Timothy Chalamet. What other music artist biopics would you guys like to see?
See, they need to be
Good question.
It can't be anyone from post 2000s because they need to be
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
so-
still
You
doing
need like a
stuff.
lot of
Yeah.
history. And
They have to
lore
be
there.
old.
I have a really good one. Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I was gonna say
There was-
that.
there was like
which
a-
would be
Yes.
controversial.
There was like a
though.
Yes,
You
that's
gotta,
why.
That's like hot water.
There was a Broadway musical about him.
Yes, there was.
Recently. I never saw it, but did anyone else see it or no?
I know people who saw it and they said it was good.
Oh, okay.
No, it's just because there's a lot of controversy
there's a
around
lo-
Michael Jackson, and like different people have different opinions, and I don't know. I think
I
it'd
mean,
be really
you know, if
interesting.
you're doing a biopic and
Yeah.
you're doing the full unadulterated story, then like
Mhm.
one,
Yeah.
it's entertaining, and two, it'll really shine some light on the man.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else have any cool music artists they'd like to see?
I would not want to
Kurt
like
Cobain.
Fleetwood Mac,
Kurt
but like
Cobain.
Stevie Nicks, and
Yeah.
like they're still alive.
Yeah.
but like
I think when we're in like our 50s, Taylor Swift would be really good.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna say Taylor Swift actually.
Well,
Abby.
because she's still alive, so like I can't really like
Yeah.
say that. But,
I mean, she'll
Probably
still be
she is
alive when
the-
we're in our 50s. She's like 10, 20 years older than we are, but like
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
30.
She's like 36.
Yeah,
Abby?
something around that.
Something
She's
like that.
36.
30.
Yep.
Oh, that's
Okay.
crazy.
I mean, like the biopic, like I think we need really as like a society, like we haven't gotten the full story. Limp Bizkit, of course. Like when are we
Yes.
getting the Fred Durst biopic? We need to like some insight on him.
I think a Kiss one would be interesting. Or like
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses, one of the
Mm.
hair bands, Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh
I'm
no,
just
we
trying to
already got the Dirt, right? The Motley Crue one.
Yes.
Oh.
So that was kind of the
do
hair
you know what? I'd be really interested in a musician biopic for like a band, but it's kind of like This Is Spinal Tap,
Oh, like a mockumentary.
kind of.
Hmm.
I want a Green Day one.
I would love a Green Day
Okay,
one.
okay, that's one
That couldn't happen though until we're really old.
Yeah, like they're nostalgic at
But-
that point. But like even then, like their American Idiot phase is like really interesting historically. Like they had an album
Yeah.
stolen. Like they chronicling the history released
Absolutely.
up to American Idiot would be really cool.
Yeah.
Who was the band that sued Napster?
Metallica.
Metallica.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
love a
Dude,
Metallica.
I just want to see Lars Ulrich portrayed like the band baby he is.
Yeah.
like respectfully.
Yeah.
No offense to him, of course. Like, he's a
Anybody
child.
have any other really cool music artist biopics? Personally, and this can't happen for another 20, maybe 30 years. Love to see Bon Jovi. Not Bon Jovi. I would love to see him too. Billy Joel.
Oh.
That says
oh,
I'm a
absolutely,
Long
yeah.
Islander, so
Yeah.
I have a soft spot for Billy Joel, as we all do.
Oyster
It's a
Bay.
requirement.
Love Billy Joel.
As somebody from Long Island, you have to like Billy Joel. You don't have a choice.
I was more of an Elton John guy, but I respect it.
Oh, Elton John. Elton John just had a biopic
He had a
too.
great biopic,
yeah.
That was
Rocketman.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rocket Man, great movie.
Rocketman has always been kind of like a personal favorite of mine. It's the movie that actually made me like a really big Elton John fan personally.
He's incredible.
I can't think of really much musicians that I would want because like I was thinking Louis Armstrong, but
He would be cool.
That would be cool, but I think we have like What a Wonderful World already in terms
Yeah.
of like a Broadway. Like yeah, so I can't really think of one off the top of my head.
Yeah. You made me think of one. Frank Sinatra
Oh,
would be
Oh,
awesome.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, he has such like a historical life. Like
Yeah. And like there's so much drama with him and like the Rat Pack and all of his
Mafia.
movies.
we should just get a
And
whole Rat Pack
Vegas.
movie, honestly.
Right?
Yeah.
I would love that. And there's so much stuff with like Kennedy gets involved and like
Yeah.
it's so interesting. Frank Sinatra's life.
It's funny you said that. Like even the Elvis movie, like it did not even like scratch the surface of how
Yeah.
much history there is there. Like
Oh, not at all.
he like joined the CIA for a bit.
It's so crazy. The whole music artist thing. I also just thought of speaking of Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby would also be cool.
Yeah.
I also just found this out. Apparently he owned the Pittsburgh Pirates baseball team for a little bit
Yeah,
in the
that kind of money.
50s.
Oh my
I
gosh.
didn't know that. The singer. I found that on because I was watching White Christmas and it was just like, I want to look up what else he was in. And it said Bing Crosby was the owner of the Pittsburgh Pirates from 1950. I was like, whoa, that's weird. Yeah, anybody else before we move on?
For some reason, the one in my mind right now is Jaden Smith.
Oh,
'Cause,
What?
I really wanted Jaden Smith.
Why do we need
I
that?
think a Will Smith biopic when we're old.
when
Ooh,
we're older, yeah.
or like Snoop Dogg.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
because
would
like
be
he kind of
Yeah.
surrounds the whole like Atlanta rap scene for the
Yeah.
yeah, like
That would be.
we got a
that'd
good
be-
Pharrell Williams one, piece by
Yeah.
piece.
I
We
think-
did have a Pharrell
We
Williams
did,
one. I
yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
really good too.
is in Lego, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyone else have anything to say?
I think there's a spot for Madonna to have a really
Yes!
Ooh, that's
my
a
God,
good one.
absolutely.
That's such a good answer, Abby. Yeah.
All right, I think we're going to move on over to the 2025 Golden Globe nominations, and they have been announced, highlighting a diverse array of talent in both film and TV. Leading the film categories is Emilia Perez, received 10 nominations, including Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, with individual nods for Carla Sofia Gascon, Selena Gomez, and Zoe Saldana. In the television sector, The Bear topped the list with 5 nominations, followed by Only Murders in the Building and Shogun, each securing 4 nominations. The ceremony is scheduled for January 5th, 2025, and will be broadcasted live on CBS and streamed on Paramount+. So how do we feel about the Golden Globe nominations? Do you think they're deserved? Do you think they're not deserved? What do you think?
They were pretty fantastic, honestly.
Yeah, I've seen The Bear. I've only seen the first season, but I think it's a pretty good show.
Yeah, and I'm glad it's getting recognition. I actually
Yeah.
watched the first episode of Shogun like a week ago.
Oh, really?
It deserves every single award it's ever gotten.
I hear it's only 6 episodes, right?
Yeah, it's a kind of a miniseries, but every
Yeah.
episode's like an hour long.
Miniseries though.
And then
They're
they're
I could be
could be wrong, but aren't they trying to like do more, or like did I hear that wrong?
I don't know if there's gonna be a second season. I think that it's might be one and done.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of respect for shows that they know the story they're going to tell, and then they stop. like what's a
Like
good
Game
example?
of Thrones.
Sure. Well, Game of Thrones. Okay. Oh, Game of Thrones.
the mic?
That's my bad. I dropped the mic for a second. I flipped it up and it hit the thing. That's my bad.
good.
Sorry, listeners. What's a good example of? I guess I could say Stranger Things, but that's not really a good example.
No. Okay.
Just like a show that, like, all right, we're gonna have 3 seasons, and this is the story. Oh, here's a good one: Succession.
Oh,
Succession's a great example of this. Succession was like, okay, we're gonna do 4. Jesse Armstrong considered doing more seasons, and he talked with the other show writers and the producers and the writers, and he was like, no, this is the story we want to tell. I know how season 4 is gonna end, and that's gonna end the show, and we're not gonna make more. Then you have a show like The Office, where it could have ended at season 6 when Michael left. All of the arcs concluded with like Jim and Pam and Michael and whatever, and they kept going.
Well, then you get shows
And it
like
was
that you
bad.
desperately want to put out back and like just end, like The Simpsons, which is on like a
I think that's
35
different.
season run.
I think animated shows are different.
Yeah.
Like especially because like Family Guy and The Simpsons, those are very unserialized.
Right.
So, and each episode doesn't really acknowledge other episodes unless
Yeah,
it's like a
that's true.
quirky little callback or whatever. Or just like, hey, remember that chicken guy from 3 episodes ago? He's still pissed off about this thing. But yeah, I don't know. I think anime shows are different.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
No, it's like
And they can continue on forever, even though Simpsons
Because
and Family Guy
there's
has
like
been going
infinite
on.
stories to tell with those characters if they're strong enough.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird you mentioned animation because the one like mini series I thought of that's actually animated is Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Anyone see that?
Yeah, I love that show. Yeah,
I thought you two would.
Is that up for a Golden Globe?
It is.
Nah,
No,
That was me trying to get back on topic. Sorry.
Oh, fair enough.
I love this show. But yeah, is there any? Just looking at the list, does anybody have any movies or TV shows that you think should be on here?
Tommy, you mentioned Shogun. Like, actually, what is Shogun about? Because I never actually got into watching it.
Explain what a shogun is.
All right,
Yeah.
so it's in feudal Japan, or like the really like brutal area where it was very like Japan was heavily militarized, basically like just prepared for war at all times, and like this British like merchant ship like accidentally stumbles upon it, and like one guy basically just gets involved in this whole like conflict involving like separating warring nations in Japan. It's really metal, and it's one of the most brutal like violent shows you will ever watch.
That's really interesting.
Yeah,
and it like puts you in that like era of history so well.
So I'll ask this: what do you think? Which show or movie do you think deserved a Golden Globe this year?
The Substance got nominated for 5.
Oh,
which is this like indie horror film that is just making so many waves. And
Tommy's been talking about The Substance for months.
Is my favorite movie of the year, and I will sing the praises constantly. But like the Golden Globes have always been like historically a good indicator of the Oscars, right?
I think so. I think. Well, the Golden Globes is both film and TV.
Yeah.
Um,
But usually, whatever wins like or whatever gets nominated. Like I actually remember Oppenheimer won the Golden Globe for Best Picture last
Yeah.
year.
Right.
It usually is a great indicator of what's going to get nominated. That
Did
means-
Oppenheimer win Best Picture at the Oscars?
Yeah.
I think it did. Yeah.
I have a bad time remembering things.
It's been a year for sure.
Dementia.
Yeah. I mean, I could say, hey, what about Dune Part 2? But I know you're very high on the substance, and I think I like.
Well,
No, that got that. Like,
oh,
did
that
very
sounded
well, too.
weird.
yeah, a little bit.
He's
What
no,
substance we talking about?
he's really into the
We
film.
can't discuss that on radio. We can't discuss that on radio, Tommy.
FCC regulations.
But I kind of like giving the nod to movies that are not sequels
Oh, absolutely.
for awards, or more original screenplays than like adaptations.
And we had a pretty good year for originality. We got Challengers.
I would agree. Yeah, Challengers, A Real Pain, Nora. This is absolutely not an original idea, but Wicked. Not an original idea. Inside Out 2 is nominated for Best Motion Picture for
Wicked
an
did
animation.
really well in the Golden Globes too, right? Like, didn't it get nominated for a bunch?
I think so. I think it did. It's also like in the top 5 or top 10 for highest grossing musicals of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
Already? Wow.
I want to throw my hat in there. I think a
Musical
film that
movies. Sorry, it's musical movies, not musicals in general.
I think one movie that should have been at least thought about and nominated is this movie called Thelma. Anyone see it? I've heard of it.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Sorry, I haven't seen it.
No, I saw it months ago with my mom. It's about this old lady who gets scammed out of $10,000 and like has to
Nice.
like go on basically a heist, but like it's just like the old person version of a heist, and it's hilarious, and I love it so much. It has 98 on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm a little sad that it's not like more recognition for the film because it's really good.
Yeah, that's interesting. Really quick before I get to my next question, I just want to mention the Critics' Choice Awards nominations were also released. We're not going to talk about it today, but I just want to get that out there. If anybody wants to look at those, you can Google it. There also are some interesting things. I'm not a big fan of the Critics' Choice Awards just because it's critics. It's very specific niche of film nerd. But yeah, the real thing I was going to say, kind of a segue, is there is a Golden Globe award that is cinematic and box office achievement, which I think is an interesting category. There are some films like Deadpool and Wolverine, Gladiator 2, Inside Out 2, Twisters, just to name a few. There's also animated films in here like The Wild Robot. Do we think this should maybe go to other forums like the Oscars? Because I do think this is an interesting award. Because it is kind of just recognizing like, hey, this movie made a lot of money and people seem to like it, but
it's such an ambiguous award too, because like, you can't really measure it like categorically. You have to. It's just purely quantitative. Like, this movie made the most amount of money. Like, because what grossed the highest this year? Like Wicked, Wild Robot.
One of them. Let's look this up.
I want to say Wicked.
I think that might be true. Actually, Moana 2 made more money than Wicked, actually.
Oh, God.
Fun fact.
Quote unquote #1 movie.
Red One's not winning it. That makes me so happy.
I wanted to watch the Red One.
I wanted to watch it too. I think it's going to be a cult classic Christmas film.
Red
Like
One?
Jingle All the Way.
I thought it was gonna be like funny, like Jingle All the Way, but it was just empty.
Really? Even with J.K. Simmons?
He actually was great. He always
okay,
so
that's good.
I do have the answer. Does anybody want to guess what the highest grossing film of 2024 was?
Wait. Dune 2.
No. Dune 2 is the 4th.
Is it Deadpool?
Deadpool is the 2nd.
Ooh, wait, what?
Close.
Despicable Me.
No, Despicable Me is the 3rd. Yes, Donovan, you're right. It is Inside Out 2. Made, I'm going to round up, close to $2, I think that's $1 billion.
Does that make it the highest grossing animated film ever?
I believe it is also the highest grossing animated film ever. I believe that was a thing that happened at this year. I mean, honestly, I loved Inside Out 2. I think it might be better than Inside Out 1.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I
mean, we also have to realize Inside Out 1 came out when I was like
Yeah.
you know, a little kid, and I'm an adult now.
What was it, 2015?
16.
I
16.
I still need to rewatch like.
It's almost 2026.
Oh my god.
I mean, it will be in 2 years, but
I still need to watch like the. Sorry, I have watched the first Inside Out. Obviously,
Yes.
It's just been a while. What's crazy to me is just the fact of two things. One, Mario movie came out and made like $1 billion.
Yeah.
Like literally last year.
It's Mario.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. I'm just saying that like I'm surprised like Mario already had like competition in terms of like big anime movies. The disappointing part is that Inside Out 2 I think had most of its staff like let go before the movie even aired.
Yeah.
Which I'm like
Yeah, sad.
that is interesting. But do we think Inside Out 2 deserves to get a lot of Golden Globes and even extension Oscars?
Yeah, why not?
Just real quick before we wrap up this segment, who do we think deserves any Golden Globe, film, TV? Who do we think deserves Golden Globe the most?
We know my
the
answer.
most. Ooh.
I think Wicked or Inside Out 2.
I did really enjoy Wicked a lot. So I think it has good nominations for a Golden Globe.
And I would even extend that if you're talking TV, The Bear.
Yeah.
I'm also rooting for Anora, pretty heavy.
I would agree with that too. I think Anora looked great.
Anyway, I think we're going to move on. All right, so we're moving on. So there's always so many things coming out to watch, and it's hard to keep track of all of it. So let's quickly go over the movies and TV shows coming out soon on Tune In this week. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 brings back Sonic, voiced by Ben Schwartz, alongside Tails the Fox and Knuckles the Echidna as they face their most powerful adversary yet, Shadow the Hedgehog, voiced by Keanu Reeves. Shadow's abilities far surpass their own, forcing the trio to form an uneasy alliance with their former enemy, Dr. Robotnik, played by Jim Carrey. Returning cast members include James Marsden, Tika Sumpter, Idris Elba, and Natasha Rothwell, with Kristen Ritter and Shamar Moore also joining the ensemble, directed by Jeff Fowler. The film promises high-stakes action, dynamic character development, and an expansion of the Sonic universe, as Sonic and his allies confront Shadow's mysterious origins and a looming planetary threat. Sonic 3 is set to release this Friday. Mufasa, the Lion King, directed by Barry Jenkins, explores the origin of Mufasa, voiced by Aaron Pierre, as he rises from an orphan cub to the king of the Pridelands. Told through Rafiki's narration to Kiara, Simba, and Nala's daughter, the film delves into Mufasa's early bond with his adoptive brother Taka, who later becomes Scar. Kelvin Harrison Jr. voices Taka, while John Connie, Seth Rogen, and Billy Eichner return as Rafiki, Timon, and Pumbaa. Respectively, the cast also includes Mads Mikkelsen, Thandui Newton, and Blue Ivy Carter, featuring 7 new songs by Lin-Manuel Miranda and a tribute to the late James Earl Jones. The film promises to expand the legacy of the beloved Lion King franchise with a deeper exploration of Mufasa's journey to kingship. Mufasa is set to release on December 20th, 2024. Squid Game returns for its second season, continuing the harrowing journey of Song Gi-hun, the sole survivor of the previous deadly competition. 3 years after his victory, Gi-hun is determined to dismantle the sinister organization behind the games, leading him into the perilous arena. Joining him are returning cast members Wee Han-jun as police officer Hwang Jun-ho and Lee Byung-hun as the enigmatic frontman. New participants and games will bring fresh dynamics to the lethal game. Season 2 will premiere on December 26th, only on Netflix. Along with those releases, a new season of Virgin River on Netflix is premiering on December 19th, as well as theatrical releases of Robert Edgar's Nosferatu remake and the Bob Dylan biopic, A Complete Unknown, both in theaters on Christmas Day.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ayal. Guys, but real quick before I wrap up the show, this was Ayal's first time co-hosting.
It was my first
time.
I
asked him last night to co-host with me. He did an incredible job, I think. Everybody give it up. And also give a round of applause to everybody on the screening room in general. Guys, this has been an incredible semester. Thank you so much for dealing with my craziness and also just the craziness of the pop culture, entertainment, and Hollywood world. It's been a very crazy semester, but we pulled through and had 9 incredible shows. So yeah, you guys are all amazing. Thank you so much for making this an incredible semester in the screening room, and we will be back next semester.
We will.
As well. That is going to wrap up this week's show. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been the Screening Room on WRHU. Do not forget to follow us on Instagram at Screening Room WRHU to stay up to date, and be sure to tune in to our show every Sunday at 10 a.m. only here on 887 FM, Radio Hofstra University. But until then, just remember, believing is seeing. Have a happy holiday, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Stay shiny.